Engineers prototype almost everything. When they're going through a design process, they usually look to say, hey, how can we make a prototype to see and test certain features before we make the final product. You don't just go from idea to final product, selling it to the other people. That very rarely happens. And yet we feel like we have to do that in our lives and our careers. So how can we approach some of the big career decisions we make just like an engineer would approach making a prototype? Let's dive in and talk about that a little bit more. Hey there, my name is Jeff Perry, leadership and career development expert, author of The Intentional Engineer and The Intentional Career Guide to Professional Networking. And today we're talking about how do we chart our path in more of an experimental and prototype mindset, just like an engineer would take in a design process as they prototype and iterate their way to a final design. Because here's the thing, you don't need to have a 5-year plan with your life and your career. In fact, you could just have a 5-day plan. What's the next experiment that you can run that can get you the data that will help you make the decisions in front of you? Let's just call this career prototyping. And there's 2 pretty easy ways to do this. Number 1, you can have prototype conversations. This means you're just reaching out to someone who's doing something that you're really curious about, that you want to explore. We can think about this like an informational interview. You can ask about their day, the tools they use, the people they work with, and any other things that you want to explore and learn more about. And this is a really low risk. You're not actually taking any action or changing anything for you, but this is a high level of return in terms of insights and data that you can then take to see if any of those things match where you want to go and what you want to do. Number 2 is you can run prototype experiences. These are different ways that you can think about what actions can you take to act like a prototype for things that you might consider. For example, if you wanted to try out leadership, you were considering moving from an individual contributor engineer to an engineering leader, what would that look like? How could you prototype that without taking that leap immediately? Well, you might say, hey, maybe I can mentor a junior engineer or some interns or something like that. Or maybe you can look for a way in your community to take a leadership volunteer opportunity and see, hey, does leadership and leading others in a group, is that really something that I enjoy, or do I really just want to stay away from that and just dig into the technical details? That's fine either way, but running through a prototype could help you explore what might be best for you. You could also take on a small side project or shadow someone, or maybe freelance and try on something that you've always thought about doing. You don't need to go all in. You can run a small experiment, run a prototype, see how that fits, and let that data speak for itself. What prototyping does is it really lets you learn and grow without the fear of failure, because the definition of success is not whether the prototype worked or it didn't. It's did you learn the lesson from the prototype, whether that's a conversation or an experience. The currency is the lessons that you learn and the things you learn about yourself and the world and the situations in front of you. So I invite you to think about, what actions can you take this week? A call, a project, or something else you want to try. Identify a small prototype that you can take, a way that you can raise your hand or take some intentional action. You can collect some data with something that you've been exploring and considering to do. Because here's the lesson, your future isn't found, it's built one prototype at a time. Take the iterative process and keep making progress day by day. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you got some big value out of this. I'd love to find ways to help you or your team or organization as you try and build a more intentional career and leadership approach. I'd love to connect with you and see if we might be a good fit to work together in one of my personalized programs for you as an individual or your team or organization. Please reach out, let's connect, and make sure to like and subscribe to the video and the channel. Make sure that you never miss another piece of content to help you level up with intention. Thanks so much for being here, and we'll see you in the next video.